What was the process like to get This Hour Has 22 Minutes? How did that come into your life?
So I kind of came to 22 minutes, two different stints to write for the show. So they'd bring you in for a couple weeks to try you out or whatever as a writer. So I did that two different times. And during both times, they also threw me on camera doing like streeters, talking to people on the street and doing little segments and stuff. And it's so weird because after my second time doing that, I think it was my second or third time doing it, when the season ended and the summer came along, I remember thinking to myself, like, I think I might get an offer to come back, but I thought as a writer. And I was doing a segment in my hometown, ironically, for Amazing Race Canada. I was doing the comedy portion of the show because they were doing a comedy stand-up challenge for their competitors or whatever. And I had to write a bunch of the jokes and host this comedy show that they had as a challenge. And when I get there the day before, we're doing just blocking and a meeting about, the show the next day. There's two fine arts students from the local college there, Grenfell College. And I'm just talking to them about, I said, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, I want to get into entertainment. I want to get into movies. I want to get into whatever. And I said to them at the time, I said, one of the things you have to accept when you're in entertainment is that your life can change with a phone call or an email. Like you're just, the life as you knew it was going this way, and then you get an email or phone call and life changes. And I said, you learn to get used to it. It's weird, but you learn to get used to it. 90 minutes later, my agent calls and goes, 22 Minutes wants you to join their team. And I went, oh, okay, cool. Like, you mean like as a writer? They're like, no, they want you to be a cast member. And I was like,
wow.
Can you send that to me in an email? Because I couldn't process it. It was like, because I was already working on a set already, and I was like, I couldn't process what she was saying. And then she sent me the email with all the details in it. I was like, what? And the fact that I was in my hometown when I got the email, it was just surreal, like how life had kind of come full circle and all this stuff. But it was a really, really cool moment to find out you're joining, such an iconic show and joining that team. So yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
What was the first day like?
It's one of those things where you find out in like the spring, or whatever I found out would have been like May maybe or something. And so then, you're doing all these interviews, people want to talk to you, and newspapers and television, all this stuff. And like, it's kind of just fun. Like, you're like, yeah, it's great, it's awesome. But then September, you pack up all your shit and you fly to Halifax, and you're like, oh yeah, like this is real now. Like you're gonna go to work. And I remember standing outside the big bay doors at the old studio. It's knocked down now, and there's a new studio built, but they have these massive bay doors that go into the studio. I remember the first Monday night when we tape with the live audience, I remember going like, oh my God, like I've been this nervous since my first time on stage. Like, this is it. Like, I'm about to go. I felt like an astronaut about to go to the moon. Like, you're like, yeah, you're getting in that thing and we're going to the moon. Like, like it hit me in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And then yeah, but everyone was so great. All the crew were so friendly and helpful. All the cast were the same way. Like, so yeah, it's one of those things where it's just a special moment that I don't think everyone gets to experience, and I felt very grateful in that moment.
What's the schedule like for a show like that?
So Tuesday is normally a pitch day. So that's when we pitch all of our ideas. Our executive producer will say, hey, here's what's going on in the news, or here's some things I wouldn't mind taking some sketches on or ideas on if you guys have any. And we'll all pitch some ideas that we might be thinking about. And then Tuesday you write sketches. So you can go home, you can stay at the office, you can do whatever you want. And then they have to be in the next morning by I think around 11 o'clock. And then they're all submitted to the executive producer. They then pick the best from everyone's submissions. And we have a table read on Wednesday of all the submissions that he's chosen from what's been submitted. And then he's looking around to see what works. So we're going to actually read the sketches through, play the characters that we're supposed to play, and he's noting what gets last at the table and what doesn't. And then he's going to pick maybe 9 sketches from those that have been read. And then literally that's on Wednesday. Thursday, we're making the first sketch. So Wednesday, no one even knows what's going to be, like what even has been written. The next day, right, you're making 4 of those sketches or 3 of those sketches. And then you do the same thing again on the Friday. Weekends are normally off. You might have to do a little bit of writing or tweaking things. And then Monday is a live audience, so that's when we do all our desk jokes. We play back all the sketches that we've made from Thursday and Friday. And that normally taping is about an hour and 20, hour and a half. And then from that is pulled 22 minutes of actual show. So by the time you watch the show on Tuesday night, we've already started the next week's show.
How did you find it transitioning from like writing for stand-up and then writing for sketch? Was that difficult?
Yeah, it's a different beast because it's such a, in stand-up you can kind of, everything is done your way. You have complete autonomy in terms of how you're to deliver something. Obviously you're not on a network television show, so you can use any word you want. There's no, you can't say that, you can't say that. And with sketch, it's such a collective, right? Because you write stuff with other characters in mind and how you see it unfolding, but then also set design has to play a role, costume has to play a role, hair and makeup have to play a role. There's a director now, they're going to direct this sketch, and so they're going to want certain things. There's just the practicality of not being able to do certain things. Like if you're like, oh, we're gonna have a car chase and like it's gonna go off a cliff, it's like, no, it's not, because we only have 2 to 3 hours to make a sketch. So we're not gonna be like, we need to close down all of downtown Halifax or we're gonna light a building on fire. All right, guys. It's like, funny story. Actually, one of the first sketches I wrote when I was writing on the show, it was a I don't even know if it ever aired. I don't think it did. It was a Fort McMurray traffic reporter. So he was in a helicopter, and it's just a guy in a helicopter, with the aviators on and stuff. He's like, yeah, it's like a morning show. Over. Yeah, it's truck-to-truck traffic right now here. We've got a pickup truck stalled, and it's just like everything's a pickup truck. You know what I mean? Like it's just pickup trucks as far as the eye can see here right now. I got a pickup truck hit another pickup truck, which hit 4 other pickup trucks. I wouldn't take that road if you're heading into work this morning. So anyway, I show up like the next day. We're going to do it live, like in front of the audience, this live sketch. And the day of, on the Monday, they've built a helicopter. Like they have an actual cockpit of a helicopter built with like a bunch of gadgets and stuff and whatever. They have an actual record player on the roof. So they just have the motor of it so it can rotate. And they have got rotor blades made, extended from that so that it actually spins around. And they're going to green screen it on the back to make it look like I'm flying in the clouds above. And so one of the set designers goes, you the new guy? I go, yeah. He goes, really? First time? Helicopter? Couldn't have wrote something with a desk or just in a bedroom or something? We got lots of bedroom. Helicopter? Yeah, dude. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I just thought we could just use our imaginations and just make up stuff. And he's like, yeah. Helicopter, huh? Hey guys, helicopter boys here. What's it? Like that was it. That was my nickname then for the rest of the week. Was just like, oh, hey, use either a helicopter. Oh, what do you need next week? A submarine? Oh, hey guys, submarine. Like it was the funniest thing. They were just busting my balls, but I was just like, oh, I don't know. What are the rules? What are we allowed to? So, but because you're right, like you dream this stuff up, you write it up, and someone's got to build it. Someone's got to stay up all night with wood and sawing and painting and nailing. And it's insane. We walk in to shoot the next day and I'm like, someone built these amazing sets. It's incredible what they do.